Good morning. This is Srinivas, and welcome to the continuation of Grade 9 Force and Laws of Motion. This is the part 2. In the previous class, you have learned about Newton's first law of motion, which states that every body continues to be in state of rest or uniform motion until or unless acted upon by some external force. Today's class, you will be learning about second law and third law. What does second law state? The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force acting on it. We will be deriving F is equal to ma. Third law states for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. If an object A exerts a force on object B, then object B will exert an equal but opposite force on object A. In the previous class, we have already discussed about momentum is denoted by letter small p, which is equal to mass into velocity. Newton's second law of motion, let us go through. Newton's second law of motion, according to it, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force applied. Here in physics, rate meaning per unit time, rate mean per unit time. Change in momentum. So what is the change in the momentum? We know momentum is mass into velocity. In the previous class, that is in the previous chapter, you have learned initial velocity as u and final velocity as v. So if your body has initial momentum of m into u and reaches a final momentum m into v, what is the change in the momentum? Final momentum is mv, initial momentum is mu. mv minus mu is the change in the momentum. Rate of change of momentum, rate meaning per unit time. So mv minus mu by t is directly proportional to the force acting on it. So let us come back to the screen, try to understand it mathematically. Consider a ball of mass m moving with initial velocity u, then suddenly a retarding force F is applied and is brought to rest. Finally, final velocity V, retardation A, is produced in a ball. Consider a body of mass m traveling with initial velocity u, suddenly brakes are applied, so force exerted is F. When force is applied, let the final velocity be V, initial momentum is mu, final momentum is mv. Change in momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum, that is mv minus mu. Rate of change of momentum is given by mv minus mu by t. Then according to second law, it was said by Newton that rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied. That is, applying second law, we get mv minus mu whole by t is directly proportional to force acting on it. So force is directly proportional to m into v minus whole by t. We know from the previous chapter motion acceleration definition, rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. So v minus u by t is a. As we know from Newton's first equation, v minus u by t is equal to a. So substituting the value of v minus u by t as a, we get in F is directly proportional to ma. Removing proportionality sign, we get F is equal to kma, where k is a constant of proportionality and its value is taken as 1. If we take about the SI unit of force, please write it down. It is kept after the name of Newton, that is, SI unit of force is Newton. I repeat, SI unit of force is Newton. We can define it as, F is equal to ma. So putting units of all involved in equation, we get F is equal to ma, taking mass as 1 kg and acceleration as 1 meter per second square. It is defined as, if we consider mass of a body as 1 kg and acceleration to be 1 meter per second square, then we have the definition of 1 Newton. Force is said to be 1 Newton when it acts on a body of 1 kg mass, producing an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Have you noticed that a cricket player lowers his hands while taking a catch? A fast moving ball has a large momentum. In supporting the cricket ball, the momentum of ball has to be reduced to zero. Now, when the cricket player moves his hands back while taking a catch, he increases the time taken for the rate of change of momentum. Therefore, less force is exerted on the hands of cricketer and hence he doesn't get hurt. Have you noticed that the athletics, mostly high jumping athlete, is provided either with a cushion or heap of sand on the ground to fall upon? Here, impulse is force into time. Impulse is nothing but the momentum. Change in the momentum is nothing but force into time. So, mass into velocity is equal to force into time. If you can observe a egg dropped onto the floor, say from 1 meter, it easily breaks on the floor because impulse F into T. Here, time is very short, force is more, and time is small, and it takes fraction of a second for the egg to break. But the same egg dropped from same height onto a cushion or a pillow, it doesn't break because time is more and force is less. But impulse is same, and here the egg doesn't break. This is to prevent injury when an athlete jumps from high jump. When he falls down after a jump, when high jumper falls on the soft landing side, the jumper takes long time to come to a stop. So the rate of change of momentum is less. Therefore, the force exerted by the ground on athlete is also less and he doesn't get hurt, as you can see in the picture. Have you noticed that when we push something harder, our hands also start paining? Likewise, when we move on a road over a large distance, our feet also start paining. The reason is that when we apply force on somebody, that body also exerts an equal and opposite force on us. Next, let us come to Newton's third law of motion. What do you understand by Newton's third law of motion, which is the easiest of all the three? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. I repeat, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Suppose body A applies force on body B, then B also applies force with the same magnitude but in opposite direction. So mathematically, we can write as F is equal to minus F. Here are the some of the examples of Newton's third law of motion. You fill a balloon with air and release it. How much force the air is coming down, that much force the balloon goes up. Example of nail hit into the wall. Action is hitting and reaction is nail getting into the wall. A gun fired. When the bullet comes out, the gun is pushed back. So action is one direction and reaction is opposite direction, and both are equal. Another example is rowing a boat. How much water you push back, that much you move forward. In this negative sign, F is equal to minus F. Negative sign shows the other force is in the opposite direction. Have you noticed that the gun also recoils after firing a bullet? When a bullet is fired from a gun, it moves with certain velocity in forward direction. As a result, it applies equal and opposite force on the gun. Therefore, it recoils. Another important application is how we walk. When we walk on the ground, our foot pushes the ground backward, and in return, the ground pushes our foot forward. The forward reaction is exerted by the ground on our foot, which makes us walk forward. However, if the ground is slippery, it becomes difficult for us to walk because on slippery ground, friction is less. Due to this, we can't exert backward action, which would produce a forward reaction. The next topic is law of conservation of momentum. What do you understand by law of conservation of momentum? Conserved momentum is conserved. The total momentum of two bodies before collision is equal to total momentum of two bodies after collision if no external force acts on the system. So the total momentum of two bodies before collision is equal to total momentum of two bodies after collision. This is known as law of conservation of momentum. As we have already discussed that all moving bodies possess momentum, so it was seen that the momentum for a system is constant quantity, which is further explained by a law given below. For a system, the sum total momentum is constant provided no external force acts on the bodies, or we can say that momentum is never created nor destroyed, it is always conserved. Let's try to explain it mathematically in the next video. Thank you.